Hello and welcome to Moment of Truth on Labour Social. I'm Graham Hughes. Now, being a Northerner and someone with a particular interest in public transportation, I'm spitting feathers over the news that there's a good chance the government is going to do yet another massive U-turn, go back on yet another manifesto promise and scrap the leg of HS2 that was due to go from Birmingham to Manchester. This is a massive, but let's face it, not unexpected blow for the North, and if true, heralds the end of the Tories' so-called levelling up agenda. This is incredibly frustrating for a number of reasons, not least that they are doing this now after so much money has already been spent on infrastructure plans, preparation work, etc. But aside from the practical considerations, it feels like a massive kick in the teeth for all of us living up here in the North. The Tories have looked at the polls, seen the red wall rebuild itself brick by brick, this time with substantial reinforcements, and have done what the pork barrel bastards always do, throw places that don't vote for them to the dogs. But punishing the North for what the private jet sets, public schoolboys of the Tory party see as disloyalty is only half the story. We also need to look at why this is happening now. And it's happening because the government is looking at how much money we have to spend in this country where the economy hasn't grown for 16 years. And to the surprise of nobody with half a brain, they're coming up short. They're coming up short because of austerity. They're coming up short because of Brexit. They're coming up short because they gave their friends and family billions of pounds of our money during COVID for PPE that didn't work, an app that didn't work, and a strategy to defend vulnerable people in this country against COVID. That didn't work. Can we get investment from elsewhere? No. We tried. We locked ourselves out of the European Investment Bank because the bananas that we bought from Central America weren't bendy enough and our passports desperately needed to be more boring. Private investment has dried up because Britain is no longer seen as an honest broker after talking loudly and confidently about breaking international law in limited and specific ways, about weaseling out of our commitments, treaties, trade deals and obligations that, for whatever reason, the Tories don't feel should apply to them. If I was a wealthy investor, I wouldn't trust the UK with my money at the moment, and I'm British. Can we borrow the money? Not really. Government borrowing is now at over 100% of GDP. Interest rates are currently sky high, and thanks to Brexit, as a country, we no longer have a AAA credit rating. Interest rates have gone up. Inflation has gone up. The only thing that hasn't gone up in real terms is wages. Somebody made a really good point on the radio this morning that if HS2 was really about levelling up, they would have started in the North, or maybe even Edinburgh, Glasgow. Public transport infrastructure here in the North is pitiful. And if HS2 does end in Birmingham, the only people who are going to benefit are the people living in the South, the very same people who are complaining the loudest about it. If they had started it in the North, it would have been cheaper. A lot more people would have been behind it. And it could have demonstrably changed things for the better in a much shorter period of time. The South East, and especially London, is spoilt for decent public transportation. Those of us in the North are not. It also looks like the Tories are not going to put anything in place to replace the investment that should have been coming in as a result of HS2. They're not going to be restoring the old lines criminally closed by the Tories in the 1960s because they were competition to the bastard motorways. They're not going to be electrifying the network. The Tories dialed back their commitment to that in 2015. They are not going to be improving the various Transpennine routes, which I cannot stress this enough, absolutely suck balls. Something they could do is a programme of restoring the hundreds of miles of disused railway lines to get the slow trains, the regional trains, the freight trains, etc., off the East Coast and West Coast main lines, increasing capacity, punctuality and speed for the intercity trains using that existing track. If the trains on the East Coast and the West Coast main lines are all travelling at the same speed, they can leave every few minutes. But even that, at this stage, might well be an impossibility given the fact that the Tories have well and truly bankrupted this nation, economically, socially, and morally.